sir.
Okay, we're going to be swearing in the new members of the Board of Education. And we're going to start with Mr. Jason Leroy. Mr. Leroy, if you would raise your right hand. This is your loyalty oath. State of Georgia, County of Lincoln, I, Jason T. Leroy, a citizen of Lincoln County, and being an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education, and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia, so help me God.
I do.
That's, This is the official oath of a member of the County Board of Education from the state of Georgia. State of Georgia, County of Lincoln, I, Jason T. Leroy, a citizen of Lincoln County and being an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia. I do further solemnly swear that I will truly and faithfully discharge all the duties required of me by law as a member of the Board of Education of Lincoln County to the best of my ability. I do further swear that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof, and that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, nor of either of the several states, nor of any foreign state, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and the laws of Georgia, and that I will support the constitutions of the United States and of this state, and that I have met the residency requirements of this office. So help me God.
I do.
All right. Let you sign right here. All right, sir. Thank you. Let's see. Hey, we gotta give Miss Kate, you hold that.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you. I take that. Yes, you're welcome. Demetrius Barksdale. First, I'll give you your loyalty oath. State of Georgia, County of Lincoln, Demetrius Barksdale, a citizen of Lincoln County and being an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the Constitution of Georgia, so help me God.
I do. The official oath of a member of the County Board of Education from the state of Georgia. State of Georgia, County of Lincoln, I, Demetrius Barksdale, a citizen of Lincoln County and being an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia. I do further solemnly swear that I will truly and faithfully discharge all duties required of me by law as a member of the Board of Education of Lincoln County to the best of my ability. I do further swear that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state
or any political subdivision or authority thereof, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, nor either of the several states, nor of any foreign state, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and that I have met the residency requirements of this office, so help me God.
I do.
And I know that's gonna be some pictures.
Smile, Judge. There y'all go. I got you.
Congratulations. Okay, we will start with your loyalty oath and then go to the remainder of it. All right. State of Georgia, loyalty oath. County of Lincoln, I, Chris Heitman, a citizen of Lincoln County and an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education, and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia, so help me God.
I do.
State of Georgia, official oath of a member of the County Board of Education. County of Lincoln, I, Chris Heitman, a citizen of Lincoln County and being an employee of the Lincoln County Board of Education and the recipient of public funds for services rendered as such employee, do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia. I do further solemnly swear that I will truly and faithfully discharge all the duties required of me by law as a member of the Board of Education of Lincoln County to the best of my ability. I do further swear that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof, that I am not the holder of any office of trust under the government of the United States, nor either of the several states, nor of any foreign state, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will support the constitutions of the United States and of this state, and that I have met the residency requirements of this office, so help me God.
I do.
Money. Yeah, I need another one for
Wow, Chris.
Want to welcome everyone to our January 2019 board meeting. We're going to call this meeting to order, and I've asked Dr. Light if he would open us in prayer and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Bow your heads, please. Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to come together for the good of the children of Lincoln County. Thank you so much for the exceptional teachers, administrators we have in this district. Thank you for this board that is here for the right purpose to do what is right for our children. Thank you for a community that is very supportive of their children, and thank you for all that you provide for us. In Jesus' name and the Lord's name we pray. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is the consent items. The consent items for this meeting consist of our agenda and also the minutes of the December 11th, 2018 meeting. Yes, ma'am.
I want to approve our consent items, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion by Ms. Freeman to approve the consent items. We have a second by Mr. Madison. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. We have no public participation listed, so we're going to move on to our financials from Ms. Bufford.
We are now at 50% of our fiscal year complete, so we've got half the year behind us, fiscal year. And you can see that we did start getting some of our tax collections. We're up to 1.5 million on that. We'll have some more in January that will help our fund balance, but we did get some in December, so that was good. We are at 47.06% on our revenues, which is reasonable for this time of the year, a little bit below the 50, but we know why. On the expenditure side, we're at 48.28%, that's good. We're under the 50% mark. We have a few expenditures that are a little over 50%, and as I remind you each month, those are the ones that we pay at the beginning of the year, and they will be evened out as we go through the year. And we just pay them one time a year. Our fund balance has gone up to 1.39 million. So that is looking much healthier than it was. So we're in good shape there. I will remind you, we talked last month about the impact aid money that we received. We will be amending the budget for that, but we have not had a chance to get figures on what we want to use that money for yet. So we'll hopefully at the February meeting we'll try to.
Just before you move on,
Yes.
especially with the fact that we have two new board members, if you have any questions on any of this at any point during the financials, please feel free to ask Ms. Bufford
Yeah,
for
just interrupt me.
clarification.
It's fine. I
However
don't mind
it's
being
needed,
stopped. So, anything right now?
No.
No? Okay. So the next report is our SPLOST report. In December, we collected $55,394.12, and you'll notice that's more than last December, and if you look back at the bottom, it's actually more than any of the Decembers in the previous SPLOST. So that is a good sign that the economy is improving and our sales tax are up. So we're excited about that. On the SPLOST summary, we're showing that we have a balance in the SPLOST fund of $572,527.55. On our bond tax, we had some collections there, so we've got $500,360.11 with $1,072,000 going towards our April 1st payment. So we will have that in January. By the end of January, and be working towards the next payment on those. So we're in good shape on our bond fund. No big change on the capital projects. We collected a little bit of interest, but that's really the only change there. We've got about $52,000 available for projects that have not been designated.
Any questions that you have on the budget for anyone? Okay, thank you, Ms. Bucker. Next item is our 2018 fiscal year 20 budget calendar.
We put together a budget calendar. Obviously, it's very similar to last year. It worked well last year, and we are going to use as many regular board meetings as possible to meet all the requirements. As you remember, the state is requiring 2 public hearings, so we're using 2 of our board meetings for that to limit the number of called meetings. But the budget calendar is in front of you, and hopefully we can understand that this is as close to last year's as possible. Ms. Buffer, do you need to add anything to that?
That's pretty much it. These are all obviously estimated dates on the board, meeting dates until we get those set, but we're hoping to just have 1 call meeting to cover the budget.
Okay. Our next item is our Board of Education meeting dates for 2019.
Annually, annually, we approve the meeting dates, and we try to use the second Tuesday, as we are designated as the second Tuesday of each month, as our meeting date. Sometimes we have to change those, and those are identified in asterisk. You'll look at the dates that are listed. The only one that has an asterisk next to it is April 16th. The second Tuesday in April is during our spring break. So we move that back 1 week, which will be April 16th. Other than that, every one of these are the second Tuesday of the month. So I'm asking the board to approve that based on the second Tuesday of the month.
Any discussions on those dates? Major issues anyone sees?
That's standard.
It is, but like you said, there have been a few things that we've had to adjust for if need be. But this is what we're going, once we publish it, that's when it needs to be. So. Okay, I need a motion to approve.
A motion that we approve the meeting dates as set forth on the agenda.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Marksdale.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Heitman. All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is the election of vice chairperson. The vice chairperson is primarily designed to be in the position that if any time that I'm not able to meet the requirements of my position, whether it's chairing the meeting or when we have different things that require our chair to be here for, like the presentation of an audit during the week, during weekdays, or other meetings that require our chair to be there, the vice chair is required to, would be the one that would fill in for that position.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
since I'm not working like most of them, I volunteer to be vice chair for the next upcoming year.
Okay. Ms. Freeman, I accept that you volunteer for it, but I know this past year, you were probably absent more than every other board member.
I was absent twice. Yeah.
And
you
I
were
mean,
absent, if we're gonna count absences, you missed a couple as well, so I don't think we're gonna go there.
I missed
Jason,
a
don't,
meeting
not
that
this
was.
year, not this year.
Miss-
Let this year
Miss Freeman?
start off. Don't start off with your regular. I don't wanna hear. Just say, Ms. Freeman, we don't want rights, so we don't want you to do it, but don't you dare talk about absences, cause you weren't
Miss-
100%
Miss
present
Freeman
either. You know
Volunteered
what? I tell
to
you
be the
what.
position. Will anyone nominate Ms. Freeman to be vice chair?
I nominate Ms. Freeman to be vice chair since she wants to volunteer to be vice chair.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Can we have discussion? Or we can't?
We can have once it's seconded, we can. If it's like a second, then we move on. Okay, for lack of a second, do we have any other nominations for vice chair. I nominate Jim Madison. Do you have a second?
When we get to the discussion.
You missed it.
After the second.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay. We do not have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Open for discussion.
Okay. I guess y'all have some qualifications too.
We
I
do
see.
not have
It's a
qualifications.
board.
In my mind, the two qualifications I would see is experience.
I have more experience than Jim. I've been
and-
on the board 3 terms. This
Okay,
is
and the
my
second
fourth.
thing is availability. So I
And
don't
I'm
know,
available because I don't have a 9 to 5 like the rest of them, but this is personal. It's not about what you think it's about. It's a personal vendetta that Jason has.
okay, well,
Because Ms. Freeman knows my mind very well.
Oh, no,
She'll
I
tell you
just
that
know
all
how
the
you
time.
act. You show it.
Anyway.
You don't hide it very well at all. It don't
We-
take a rocket scientist to see your bull.
Any other
I
discussion?
think I have a headache.
But yes, it is needed, someone to be available in town, because there are meetings that, like I said, for audits.
So now you're discriminating because I live outside of the city limit? Y'all know
I'm
what? I'm
saying
fixing to go to the house. I'm
availability.
tired. I got a headache. I think I might pass out.
We have a second. Any more discussion?
is Jim, you available and willing to do the job?
Yes.
We're gonna be available anytime.
Yes.
And I don't have any plans to be out. There was one meeting that we had off-site this past year that I missed.
Well, this must be a pretty big deal.
You did call in for that.
It's a big deal.
So, but it is needed, so. All right, no further discussion? All in favor of Jim Madison as vice chair? Raise your hand. All right, 3, opposed, abstain? All right. 3, 0, 1 abstain. Policies for review. BCBD agenda.
First one is just the agenda, BCBD, superintendent and chairman provide the agenda, that is just for review, it remains as it is. Second policy for review remaining as it is our non-resident students. That remains intact. If you have a question in regards to whether the student is available, obviously it goes to the principal, then to myself, and then I make a recommendation to the board. If the principal questions it, then we leave it with the principal. And that has worked very well for us. Going to policies for revision, the evaluation of the superintendent used to be under State Board Rule 160-3-1-.11. That has been changed to OCGA 20-2-210. That's the only change there, is they changed the ruling and where it's categorized. Excuse me. The next one down for revision is remedial education. On the first page, simply changed math to mathematics. However, this policy was written back in the time of the CRCT, and back when we had No Child Left Behind, we had to update it to bring it to today's standards for testing. We had to bring it to today's standards of terminology. So now we have to change it from does not meet to beginner or below grade level. And then as you go to the second page, we have totally rewritten number 1 and number 2. Number 1 says REP students who scored as a developing learner, which is a new term, or above on the appropriate grade level Georgia milestones, English language arts, and mathematics assessment. Also a report of the number and percentage of REP students whose reading status is at or above grade level. Those terminologies were not in place when this policy was done, which is why we have to update. Number 2, for students in grades 9 through 12 who are not enrolled in a course associated with a Georgia Milestone end of course assessment and therefore will not have a state assessment score, a report of the number and percentage of REP students who passed a system-wide test in reading, writing, or mathematics where test items came from the Georgia Online Formative Assessment Resource. At grade 8 and above, systems may also choose to use standardized system-level assessments for achievement. Moving down to number 3 in the same area, for students enrolled in a course with an associated Georgia Milestones end of course assessment, a report of the number and percentage of REP students who scored as a developing learner or above on the appropriate Georgia Milestone 3 end of course English, language, arts, or mathematics assessment. Also a report of the number and percentage of REP students whose reading status is at or above grade level. That is the latest update. Now, as these changes for new board members, as these changes are made, they stay what we call lay on the table for 30 days. We'll come back in the month of February and then we'll approve them unless there's changes to be made, and then they have to stay available again for 30 days. So you'll see these again next month.
And that's for the review. If you have any questions or something you see, both on the review or the revisions, you can bring it up now, or if you think about it later, the question, that's where you can look through it, so.
Did these come down from the state level? Is that where this?
These are our policies. We review all of our policies in a group every 5 years. Now, at different times, we get state updates as legislation changes, et cetera. And we also are a member of GSBA, and we have part of their membership, they review our policies for us. So we have the ability to either send it to them or they send us updates when something changes legislatively. So yes, on both of those.
Okay.
Okay, no discussion on the policies. We'll move to the superintendent's reports.
The first thing we have is in December, it was on December 14th. Both of our cafeterias were reviewed by the Georgia Public Health Department. Both of our cafeterias got a perfect score of 100. That is a consistent 100, and I want to congratulate those ladies that work in those areas. That is not an easy score to get, and they do a very good job in there, and we appreciate that. Another item for the superintendent's report, Ms. Cobb and I, and is he still here? Say Banks were part of the initial startup for Stuff the Bus program. We did very well for a rainy night, had a number of people come and help us out, provide different items for our children. The Stuff the Bus program is designed to provide supplies for students that can't afford supplies to start the school year again. Now, we have a large church in the community that does book bags at the beginning of the year. Ms. Cobb came forward and said, what can I do to help for supplies? We talked about January, and you did a wonderful job organizing that. We meet again on the 24th of January and then again on the 31st. So thank you so much, and I'm told your red velvet cake is awesome. That was part of the prize when you brought something in. You got red velvet cake. So now that I say that, we'll be flooded. We'll need 2 buses. Thank you again.
You're so welcome.
I also got notification Friday that the MLK celebration or meeting has been changed to the 13th of January instead of the 20th of January, and our elementary students are singing at that event. So I say that to let everybody know, in case you haven't heard, that's been moved to the 13th, and it's here at First Baptist, almost directly across the street. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. At this point, we need a motion to go to executive session.
Thank you.
Motion by Mr. Massey. Need a second. Second by Ms. Freeman. Okay. Okay, I call our meeting back to order. The superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Floyd Turner as a full-time bus driver.
A second.
We have a second by Mr. Madison. All in favor? Unanimous? Superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Rebecca Bowers as a fourth grade math and science teacher.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Heitman. All in favor? Unanimous? Superintendent has recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Deborah Sherman as a substitute for food service.
Second.
We have a second from Ms. Barksdale. All in favor? Unanimous.
Mr. Chair, I motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, have a second by Mr. Massey. Thank you.